So a couple of notable American personalities icons have received Russian citizenship awarded by the Russian President Putin, and understandably Western media outlets would want to suppress this news. So you won't read much about this in the American news outlets, but I feel news is news. Whether you like it or you don't, people should at least be aware. Now, the first news was reported by an Azerbaijan channel, right? And according to the report, and this is available on various other external news outlets, confirmed reports. But the news is Brennen Menell, US-born hockey player. He obviously participated in the Russian hockey tournaments because of his contributions or valuable contributions. As stated, he was awarded the citizenship of Russia. Gleefully, he accepted the citizenship. So that's the first example. There's a second example of an American. He played in the American League, but he is a Canadian by birth. And this is an example of Brendan Leipsic. And he, again, the same story, participated in the Russian League, and he has also been awarded Russian citizenship. Now, I was one of the very first ones to break both these news together. Now, again, as I said, the whole idea is to suppress this news in Western media outlets. In that sense, big hats off to Daily Hive. It's a Vancouver-based news outlet. Small news outlets are bold. They at least won't report on the news as is. Now, I wanted to draw your attention on why some people might be acquiring these exotic yet controversial citizenships. Again, whether you should think about this or not think about this is completely beyond the scope of our discussion. Our discussion here is to review what's happened and why it's happening. So I was one of the very first ones to compile this and post this in our advanced polls and chats so the community can react and stuff. So if you aren't yet an advanced polls and chat member, even before I get to make videos and get the breaking news out to you, all the information, I try to share the sources and all the information as fast as I can as part of our advanced forum, because that's a more focused, narrow discussion for interested and serious people. So I'm going to read one comment from Crypto Nerd, and I think it made a lot of sense. I mean, what makes sense is the reasoning behind why all of this is happening. A lot of YouTubers are publicly showing support, etc., and why some of this might be happening is interesting to reflect back upon. Now, Russia, interestingly, has come out with dramatic ways of making new citizens. Obviously, the couple of American famous personalities who grabbed this opportunity is one thing, but even otherwise, there was a controversial release by Russia. If you've missed the coverage on how Russia is awarding free citizenships to people, you can always return and take a look at this video. Pretty interesting stuff on the matter. But let's return to this topic. What Crypto Nerd says is Russia sees these cases as good examples to advertise their citizenship. I agree. I think their whole objective is to make more citizens across the world, so that it's not only advertised. Right or wrong is not the point here. The point is what they are trying to do. They're trying to advertise it more. And I think the issue lies where people show interest, right? When people are excited and they accept such controversial citizenships, that really then causes other people to look into it and think about why are they really accepting these controversial citizenships, which maybe they should not, or maybe they should, who knows, right? So we want to stay out of whether that's right or wrong, but that's one interesting way of looking at it. And he goes on, and a way for Westerners who have been disillusioned in a way from the woke nonsense in the West as an escape route to get a differential passport. There's a lot of woke nonsense around the West, and a lot of Western citizens are pissed off somewhat, right? Not all, but some are, and those type of people are trying to look for opportunities outside, not necessarily to just leave right away, but at least having something different, having an ideological diversity, because it's not about extremities, right? A lot of people stay in the middle. The moment your society goes into extreme left or extreme right, there's polarization, and then there's conflict, then there's a lot of situations. If you want to escape that, you want to go to a place which believes in some drastically different ideology, so you have the option of picking and choosing which one you believe in what point in time, because even in point in time your ideologies might shift. You see some drastic examples of Christian becoming Muslims, and I'm referencing the case of Andrew Tate. Very famously, he switched over and accepted Islam, so a lot of people do that kind of stuff. So it's important to have ideological diversity. I'm not saying to be a Muslim, I'm just saying in general to have all the options open. Turkish citizenship is a moderate example. Russian is an extreme example, but I feel Serbia is a very, very interesting option. A lot of people who obviously aren't thinking about Russia are keenly thinking about Serbia. Beautiful country, beautiful options, gives you access to best of both. So it is a very interesting, rock solid option to consider. Now, Serbia has some latest developments, and I'm tracking all those developments. I'm working very closely with my counsel in Serbia. So again, if there's any updates, the first place to look for it would be advanced polls and chats. And then again, obviously, there'll be more information on my channel. So if you are subscribed, you will be notified. And then he further goes on to say that I can see a lot of people trying to go for Russian citizenship as a plan B in the near future as a hedge. Well, fortunate or unfortunate, that is a likely scenario. As I said earlier, a lot of YouTubers are publicly now starting to voice their support, which is again controversial. One of the biggest reasons I personally also feel, in addition to some of these points, is that you have all these global leaders freely trading and doing business with Russia, with President Putin, often rallying behind him or around him, trying to be friends, trying to please him in various ways, not respecting some of the Western sanctions. So that is an area of concern for the West. And the more that happens, it sends a wrong signal from a Western perspective, and the sanctions then don't work. Now, if you want to learn the 6 ways of obtaining multiple citizenships, let's say you want to optimize or maximize your chances of gaining as many passports as it takes, right? To have all the diversity, all the mobility, all the freedom, all the access in place, make sure to hop on and check this one right now. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed, and catch you in this one.